Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 107 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you all the new books that I picked up at my local comic shop every new comic book day, and tell you a little bit about every single issue. So this week I think I've got 8 issues in total, so a pretty big reading week for me. I've still got some catching up to do on last week, I'll admit it, so I'm gonna have to get down like this weekend and actually read all my issues. But we're just gonna start off here with Marvel. I've got I think 4 different issues from them, so we'll start with my most anticipated issue of the week. It's Guardians of the Galaxy #1. So I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have this evening. I'm going to be pretty busy, but if I can find any time, I'm hoping to put out a review this one today, if not tomorrow. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, just like a non-spoiler one. But yeah, Guardians, we've got a brand new ongoing series just in time for the new movie, obviously, but it looks like they're actually kind of rebranding and doing their own thing here, right? Based on this cover, you can tell that it's sort of going to be like kind of a Western type thing. This is written by the same people, Jackson Lanzing and Colin Kelly, who write the Steve Rogers Captain America series right now, right? So I haven't read any of that. I have heard good things, though, but I didn't jump on that Captain America train. But yeah, kind of a weird Western theme. This whole story arc is called Groot Fall. So something is going on with Groot. And although this is like kind of co-aligning with the movie, obviously, it does seem kind of cool that they're giving it its own direction still and not really copying the films as much. But man, I'm excited for that Guardians 3 movie. How about you guys? But yeah, artwork looks pretty colorful in here. It looks okay, so I'll definitely be curious about this one. Let me know if you guys pick this up down in the comments. That's Guardians #1, new ongoing series. Next up, though, let's get into the Spider-Man side of the Marvel Universe. We've got Miles Morales Spider-Man #5. So this has surprisingly been like one of the breakout hits of the year for me. Honestly, the new Miles series has like lived up to my expectations fully compared to Saladin Ahmed's run, which wrapped up before this. I think it's, if anything, only been better than that run. We've got Cody Ziegler as a new ongoing writer on the series so far. The artwork is really good in here by Federico Vicentini. And this just new like story arc idea I thought has been pretty fun so far. Is that like a reference? Yeah, look, there's an homage page with Miles carrying his parents. That's pretty cool. But we've had this new villain named Rabble who's been messing with Miles' friends and family, capturing them as revenge for being like the person who had the next number up from the lottery that Miles won to go to his high school. So kind of a stupid story, like it's not that realistic, but it's just comic book fun, and that's what you can appreciate, right? So definitely a lot more lighthearted than a lot of books in the stands, but really makes you feel for the characters and everything, and it's really well done overall. I'll talk about it in a second with the next issue here, but this is about to be going into like this crossover, right, called Carnage Reigns, and it's crossing over with Carnage, so we'll just get right into it. Perfect segue, right? The next issue is Carnage #12. So both of these issues, I guess, are releasing this week. That are both leading into Carnage Reigns, which is the crossover between these two series, and it's all kicking off, I think, with like an alpha issue, and then they're also doing an Omega one. We'll see about that. I recently got all caught up on the Carnage series because I haven't been buying the issues physically for most of the series. I just hopped on board because I wanted to get filled in before Carnage Reigns. But yeah, it's a good series, honestly. I do recommend it so far. It's just basically the Carnage symbiote has separated itself from Cletus Cassidy fully. It's its own being, and it's trying to build itself up. And, it's stealing like the powers of gods and forging weapons for itself and stuff. And it's all leading to some sort of endgame, which will probably be a big Marvel event at some point, right? But now we've also got the introduction of Cletus Cassidy having his own powers. He's still on Earth. He's in like an insane asylum that has been abandoned, and he's being revealed to also be kind of a major force. So it looks like Cletus Cassidy is going to be the villain of Carnage Reigns, whereas the Carnage symbiote has its own plans. There's Miles already on the in the interior of this issue, so maybe this leads a little bit more directly into Carnage Reigns. We'll see about that though. Carnage #12, pretty strong recommendation from me. I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't picking this up for all the single issues, to be honest. Next up, though, from Marvel Comics, probably my favorite ongoing series from them. This one is Moon Knight #22. So yeah, 22 issues in at this point. The series is still going strong. We've got like this new character named the Midnight Man who's on the cover there. And my favorite part of this series is just that it's not quite as like blocky as a lot of ongoing Marvel comics are, where they have like 6-issue story arcs, and that's just how it always ends up being, right? The issues kind of meld into each other in interesting ways, and there's like more overarching story arcs. The artwork, of course, in here by Cappuccio has remained one of my favorite parts of it. And the writing is just really well done, really getting into the head of the different personalities of Mark Spector as Moon Knight. And then it looks like we've got kind of a focus on Tigra here. Does she have a kid or something? I didn't know that. But yeah, good supporting cast. We've got Tigra, Hunter's Moon, and a bunch of other characters. So definitely still a strong series. I don't know how many people are still picking it up, but I do still recommend this one. And yeah, it's been pretty good. Next up, though, from Marvel, this is the last issue I picked up from them this week. Not one of my favorite series, if I'm being completely honest. I'm definitely thinking about dropping this one, but this is Fantastic Four number 6. At this point, I'm just holding off until 7 because it's like the 700th issue of the series, right? So they're doing an oversized thing with Doctor Doom. Sounds kind of intriguing. It's worth at least sticking around until that. But yeah, it's just been kind of a weird idea behind this series where all of the kids, Franklin, Valeria, and the Skrull and Kree kids that Ben and Alicia have had recently just aren't in the comic anymore. They had to be set back a year in time to be like met in the future because of this whole time warp thing that Reed Richards had to do to save like a block of New York City in an alien invasion. So that whole story arc has been revealed now, and we've kind of got the Fantastic Four back together, but the kids aren't there. It's just like a completely different idea behind the series. I'm really not liking it so far. The issues are kind of boring and like dialogue heavy also, and end up involving like scientific solutions and stuff that aren't very interesting. Just kind of a dull read, to be honest. I'm really not liking this. Covers by Alex Ross are pretty cool at least, but yeah, we'll see what Ryan North is doing with this series. So far, I'm not a big fan at all. But let me know if you guys are still picking this up, what you're thinking of it. I'm very curious. Next up, though, I've got a few, I'll start with a DC issue that I picked up. That's right, a DC issue. I don't usually get these, but it is part of Sandman Universe. This one is Nightmare Country, The Glass House number 1. So there was already a Nightmare Country series that centered around the Corinthian, this like embodiment of nightmares in the Sandman Universe that already happened before. It was just called Nightmare Country, so now they're adding like a second title to it for this new miniseries, right? And it is written by James Tynion IV, is the main reason why anyone's picking this up, right? I'm going to show some of the interior artwork here, though. It's the same artist on this book, too, so they've kept the same creative team consistent here. The art is really bizarre in here. Definitely an acquired taste. I'm still not the biggest fan of it, so it takes some getting used to, I guess. Kind of a weird, like, painted art style. That first miniseries was a little bit weird. I ended up sticking through it all the way, but some of the plot points were kind of confusing. It almost felt like I had missed some stuff in Sandman Universe that I maybe needed to have read, but James Tynion, it's always worth checking out stuff from him, and he's got that new World Tree series that's supposed to be like selling out, right? That's coming out in a couple weeks. Definitely want to get my hands on that also, but here's another new thing by him to hold us off, right? That's Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House number 1. Long name there. Lastly, though, I've got a couple independent issues. These are both from Image Comics. This first one here is a pretty big ending to like maxi series. This one is 8 Billion Genies number 8. So I haven't heard too many people talking about this anymore, right? It was such a big deal when it first came out, but honestly, I think these last few issues of the series have really been where it's become like such a big spectacle as like the time that each issue covers progresses, right? It started with the first 8 minutes after everyone in the world was given one wish from a genie. That's the premise of the series. And now it's progressed all the way to the 8th issue, and this is the first 8 centuries. So I really don't know what to expect from this issue. The last one kind of felt like the series could have ended with that one. As it just saw like a lot of our main characters die off in interesting ways, and whatever communities they ended up settling in by the end of it, and like kind of finding peace on Earth again after all the chaos that the first like few months of the genies caused. So really, really interesting high concept series. It's supposed to be optioned for like a show or movie or something. So we'll see about that. But yeah, first 8 centuries, right? So really big issue. Really not sure what they're going to do with this, but I will be curious. Great series. I do recommend this one. Maybe pick it up in like a trade paperback, right? Now that it's over, that's probably going to be a really interesting read. A big, fat, thick trade paperback for 8 issues. So 8 Billion Genies, it's finally over, and we'll see what they do to wrap that up. Lastly, though, this is kind of an impulse buy. I just bought this one off the shelf because the first issue I also got off the shelf. It was like intriguing enough. I decided to just check this out. This one is The Ambassadors issue number 2. So this is like a 6-issue series that they're putting out bi-weekly, I think. It's coming out twice a month. Where Mark Miller writes it, but there's a different artist every single issue. And the idea is that there's this, I think, Korean, like tech leader that's developed some sort of way to give people superpowers, and she just reveals this to the world. And now she's trying to decide between like 6 people on Earth, and the people on Earth have to decide like what regions they come from and whatnot. We haven't really had the groundwork laid out too much so far. We've just had like the setup for it in the first issue, and that's about it. So new artists on this issue, new artists every single issue, and it's all leading to some culmination of these new 6 superheroes who are decided to have some sort of role as ambassadors in the world. So we'll see, kind of some intrigue, some mystery to the series, and not too much revealed so far, but yeah, interesting enough to try out that second issue. Those are all the issues that I picked up for New Comic Book Day this week, though. Let me know what you guys picked up down in the comments section below. What are you looking forward to if you already read your issues? Which one's your favorite this week? Like I said, I'm going to try to put out a Guardians of the Galaxy review tonight. if possible, but I might not be able to get to it. We'll see. And yeah, that's about it for this week's new comics haul. Oh yeah, thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers, by the way. Biggest milestone we've gotten to yet, and 1,000 is next. So I really appreciate you guys subbing up to the channel. It's great to see, and we're on our way, right? Hitting those milestones and heading up in the subscriber count. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in next week's haul. Bye, guys.